culture. Everything is permitted.
Welcome to episode 112 of Everything is Permitted here at the OG EIP studios. I'm your captain and host, Julian Brown, alongside my co-hosts, the man of steel, Matt Reppert, and the master of puns, Brittany Tomes. I dare ask, how are we doing?
Not good, but I air drummed the intro, so I'm feeling pretty great.
Feel a little bit
Brittany
better.
went hard on that.
She did.
I was like, fun fact, I was the original drummer on our intro. No, I wasn't. I don't know how to play instruments.
Guys, this week the Eternal Engine is back. We're gonna review the season 3 premiere of Snowpiercer. Then, Matt, my dear friend,
Yeah, I know.
please tell us, oh wise one, what is making its season 5 EIP debut?
The Raiders of the Bargain Bin. The best worst idea I've ever had.
This was your best worst idea. Maybe this might go down in the bargain bin Hall of Fame.
This was
It's down with friend request and some
Hall
other
of Lame.
Hall of Shame.
Hall of Shame, yeah.
Hall of
I like 'em
Shame,
all.
Hall of Lame, Hall of Flames.
Hall of Shit.
I mean, literally.
Literally, oh my God.
We lit a movie on fire today, guys. That's how bad it was.
I didn't even light Robin Hood on fire. And y'all know how I
That's
feel
at
about that
least
movie.
funny. I still re-listen to that sometimes if I just want to have a laugh.
Yeah, I do too, actually.
I'm just like, listen to us rip on these. Look at
We
their
didn't-
sewn Henleys. What the fuck?
I need to, one of these days, I need to like actually get all of our Bargain Bin episodes together just so I know what order we did them
You
in.
go right on our brand new website and click Raiders of the
Ding,
Bargain
ding.
Bin, and they're all right there.
Oh,
It's
boy.
awesome.
Wow, spiffy.
Yeah, it's so nice. It's so nice.
But you know what? At least we got to bond and go to Walmart together, and we each picked one movie. Then we picked out of a bag.
So we
have the
gotta
next
blame
2
Cecily
months.
for this.
Yeah, we landed on Matt's.
Okay, hold
Cecily.
no.
She picked
Nope. You know what though? We were gonna blame Cecily, but you did walk in this house and be like, I insist on
Yeah.
my movie.
He's like, I
And
watched
it was
my
still-
trailer.
And you know what? The awfulness of this movie created its own gravitational pull. So when your daughter pulled it out, when it reached into the bag,
Literally, fate was like,
Yeah.
it just slapped into her hand and she pulled it out.
God.
oh God.
But hey, the next 2 Raiders of the Bargain Bin segments, at least we already have our movies.
And possibly can't get any worse.
I want to say at least we have named actors, like people actually know some of the people
Nicolas
in our movies.
Cage.
Nicolas Cage
Not
and
saying
Tony
they're
Jaa.
good. Tony Jaa is great,
Oh my
but
God.
he might not even be able to save my film. We'll see.
Before we get into, we didn't even burn Velocipaster.
Well, that was
To be
streamed.
fair, I
Okay,
was
that
going to
was
say we
streamed.
That
didn't
was
have a
streamed.
physical copy. I would have.
That's for the best.
Yes.
Before we get into all the fun, if you want to call it that, Matt, we need to thank our awesome EIP VIPs for supporting our show.
Gotta thank Billy Peets, Nikki Vincent, Heather Reppert, Rob Migliaccio, Michael Cox, Matt Moore, Gabriel Wimbush, Rob Carter, and the McClintons that I'm gonna hunt down, Kyle and Connor.
You have to deep breathe a little more.
That's right. I'm sorry. I gotta do
do in between every name.
I think I'm Keanu Reeves in No Kung Fu.
Oh my God. I would say like what I just did was funnier if you watch the movie, but I'm not going to tell you to
Don't
watch
watch
the
it.
movie.
Just trust us.
No, please don't watch.
We watch movies so you don't have to.
Correct.
It's not worth the brain pain.
Let's get into some rants and raves before we just go down the awful rabbit hole of crap that we're going to talk about today. Anybody got something?
I have a rave.
Yeah.
Legend of Vox Machina, I think, is out now streaming on Amazon Prime. But since I was one of the backers who helped them like crowdfund to make the series to begin with, this is the Critical Role animated series, if you didn't know.
Yes.
I got early access. So like me and Eric and some other people I know that were backers, we all got to watch it like earlier in the week. And it's awesome. It's like, it's so nice to see these characters again because it's their characters from the first campaign they did a few years ago. And it's so delightful. And the show, while not for kids, is such a blast. Like just to watch as somebody who loved the original campaign and also just loves D&D. It's shenanigans. It's pure shenanigans and I love it.
Nice.
I'm just so proud of them. I started tearing up because they did this little video before they streamed it live. And they're like, thank you guys. And I was like, oh, you're welcome.
Nice.
It got me in the feels.
Good stuff. Matt.
I will rave it. I know I mentioned it as one of my things I'm looking forward to for television for 2022. Resident Alien came back on Wednesday night, and Heather and I watched the first episode last night, and it just picks up right where the first season left off. It is such a good show.
I love that show.
Yeah,
Sorry, I found out my pencil can fit through my my coils here.
Just the little things that are going to get us through this week's episode.
Oh, man. But yeah, Alan Tudyk goodness. The supporting cast is awesome. It's for a show about an alien pretending to be human, there's also a lot of heart to it.
Yeah,
too, which is
it's a wholesome but funny show. You know?
Yeah. So
the opposite of Peacemaker, which is just funny but absolutely not wholesome. Like,
yeah, I haven't watched any Peacemaker yet.
It's great, but like you turn your brain off while you're watching it.
Fair
Like,
enough.
This is just I can zone out and just watch John Cena be absolutely like ridiculous.
I'm going to remind our listeners that if you're wondering why we're not talking about Peacemaker, why we're not talking about Boba Fett, we're going to let those series reach their conclusion, and then we're just going to binge them and review them as a whole. Even though I really wanted to
In
talk about Boba
Peacemaker,
Fett
they'd
this
say
week.
asshole.
Asshole.
Yeah, instead of as a whole.
Asshole. But those reviews are coming. We're just waiting a little bit like we did for Hawkeye.
Yeah, making it more fun.
Yeah. I so badly want to talk about Boba Fett, but I will refrain. I'm going to rave. I only have raves this week. One rave. Today is Karen and I's 15-year dating anniversary. That's like a big milestone.
15.
We've been through a lot of fun and good stuff. I was picking out like all of our pictures of us together. I'm like, oh, that's a Union game. That's a Union game. That's a Union game. Oh, that's a U.S. game. Oh, that's us with the supporter shield. Oh, that's us on a normal date. Okay. A lot of soccer.
Yeah, just like 90% soccer.
Yeah.
Some nerdy stuff.
And then my other rave, I decided that I really need to exercise and get in shape and not necessarily like lose a bunch of weight, but just like be more active. And we got a Peloton. Now, I am going to preface this by saying we are not supported or sponsored by Peloton. This is just me raving about the product because I actually like it. We got it. I've had it for 3 or 4 days now. I fucking love it. I thought I was going to love it because I've been biking my entire life. So it was a really easy decision. It just took a lot of convincing to Karen, but we finally got it. I did my first ride, second ride, third ride, and I just like, I've been counting down the minutes until like I can get on it today. Like I'm like ready.
He's like, get out of my house.
Yeah.
How long is this movie?
I need to get on my bike.
It's a Peloton of fun.
I love it. I did an Encanto ride the other day, so we talked about every time that she played the Bruno song twice. She played it once in Spanish, which is actually probably the superior version, and once in English. And every time they said Bruno, you would like turn the resistance up on the bike. I was like,
you're like, oh God.
All right.
They mentioned Bruno a lot. Bruno them calories, guys.
I have a hot take. Even though I haven't seen the movie, I've watched the song and everything. We don't talk about Bruno as inferior to Let It Go, which some people have said like, oh, it's better than Let It Go.
I would probably hard disagree on that. They're both
I
great
still have yet to
songs.
see
I'm not
the
saying
movie.
it's a bad song. I'm just saying
But
it's
I think
not.
you need to see the movie in context too.
I know everything that happens in the movie.
That
It's
doesn't count. Doesn't count. You gotta see the
I'll
movie.
hold my views until I see the movie. But I've heard so many people sing it that like I like the rhythm and stuff because it's pulled from rhythms that you already like.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, Peloton anniversary. Things are good. Things are good. Anything else? Anything else going on? No?
Let's get this
Brittany's
movie out of our mind
expression.
eventually.
Wow, we're like on a record here. We're under 10 minutes, and it is time for...
He then asked me about the permitted minute, and I knew it was coming over the rise.
I saw flashbacks about my wife being assaulted. It's the permanent minute.
This is Thou Art Permitted Minute. It is indeed.
Julian's like, I refuse to watch
I'm
that film.
I'm not. It's the Permitted Minute, and we are going to go here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mr. Gatiss, start the clock.
The sequel to Mortal Kombat is moving forward with Jeremy Slater, Moon Knight on Disney Plus, set to write the screenplay.
While we're still going over the mind-boggling decision, Pixar staff have been reported to be shocked and disappointed that Turning Red is ditching its theatrical release for Disney Plus.
With the news that the Batman will run close to 3 hours, it was reported that a 4-hour cut of the film was shown to test audiences.
Believe we're not alone in the universe? A mysterious object 4,000 light years away from Earth keeps sending out radio waves every 18 minutes. You be the judge.
If you're a screenwriting junkie and loved No Way Home, the script of the latest Spider-Man film is now available to read online.
As a follow-up to our FPS roundtable, the most recent update of Call of Duty Vanguard makes 30 quality of life changes to the game. we're getting ever closer to our reunion with the Sanderson sisters. Filming Hocus Pocus 2 has wrapped.
Boom. Yeah, sorry for socked instead of shocked.
It's fine.
I saw that and I was like,
it really tripped me up. I don't know why. I was like, just say shocked. And I was like,
Just say
shocked.
it. Just say it.
My brain was like, no, you're going to read the script verbatim. No ad-libbing. And I was like, oh, God.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
It's fine. It's the coffee.
Yeah, it is. Yum, yum. Let's get into it. Let's do our first segment of the day, and that is our review of the season 3 premiere of Snowpiercer, the Tortoise, and the Hare. Brittany, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on season 3, episode 1.
It's still crazy to say this, but I really love Ruth. You know, season 1 Ruth, you're like, oh my God, I hate this.
This
this
bitch.
woman is just, you like love to hate her. And then season 2 onward, you're just like, oh,
Ruthie,
Ruthie, my girl, holding the revolution so strong. I loved seeing her role so far, and while I will say this first episode wasn't the strongest of the openings so far, like it was probably the weakest of all the season openings, it picks up in a way that makes sense after how last season left off, and I loved seeing, because you're wondering on the train, since you know the main revolutionaries left, you're like, dang, how are they gonna hold up against Wilford? And then you see Ruth crawling through these weird parts of the train, sitting in like negative 12-degree areas and like just keeping the hope alive. And she's like, no, they're coming back. No, like I'm holding on to hope. Leighton won't desert us. And I'm just like, oh,
Mr.
Ruth.
Leighton will return.
They call them, what are the Leighton Nights, I think they said is what they...
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which...
I just love that. She's so smart. Like the way they did the whole setup, and you know, even when Wilford's like right on their tail, or like Kevin's trying to find out what's going on, and he's like narrowing it down. Like they always just barely avoid him because they get tipped off. So then they're like, "We gotta move." Ruth, she's the highlight of this episode for me, for sure. I know that's not a lot for thoughts, but like,
No, but like...
I don't care for Audrey as a character, and I said that in the post-season survey they sent out for certain people to be like, hey, what characters you want to see more of? I was like, I don't care for Audrey. I don't care where her plot is going. I get she's like just as sadistic as Wilford at this point, but like...
I like that they keep, like, that Ruth is being moved around, like, the train's own, like, underground railroad.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of... It's literally an underground railroad.
It is, yeah.
It's really neat. Like, if I got anything out of this episode, it was
how she's managed 6 months.
Yeah.
She's managed to do this for, and
and
she's
I think
holding on to
Wilford
hope.
even says, like, right, or was it, no, Wilford's lackey. I always forget his name.
Kevin
Yeah.
was like, they were right under our noses. Like, no shit,
Yeah.
Sherlock.
But also it's the fact that he's like, who is the leader? And I'm
Yeah.
just like, you haven't seen Ruth in a while. They probably just think Ruth is on the other train.
Yeah.
But like,
Yep.
oh, it's so good. But yeah, not any Melanie. So
The previews were so like Melanie heavy, and like they put her name first on all the posters. It's like you would expect her to
She's
show
coming
up
back.
at the end of the first episode at least, and it's like,
no,
Oh.
they're gonna rescue another person first.
yeah, interesting. Anyway, Matt.
So I will agree that this episode wasn't the strongest, but it makes sense thematically because the episode did a lot of setup. That's what it did. And that's what you kind of had to do. You couldn't just start off with like, you know, breakneck action and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, I also agree. Ruth probably has become one of the best characters on the show, period,
Easily.
which is kind of funny considering, as Brittany said, like in season 1, you're like,
She was
God,
freezing
I hate
people's
her.
arms off and being
Like-
just like a tyrant, and you're like, why?
And also, like, even though they didn't do a ton with him, Sean Bean still kills it as Wilford. It's still, I mean,
He barely has to be in the show.
Like Sean Bean, just by talking, just oozes menace when he plays a villain.
Dude, him with his dog. Javi's all strapped up in an IV running that damn train.
Well,
This
thought
boy.
number one,
Yeah.
that wasn't Javi, that was Melanie, because if she was like exposed to cold that much, maybe she would be like strapped up to a bunch of IVs too. It was like, oh, he found her and captured her, and she is running the train, which would make perfect sense. But also Javi doing it makes sense too.
It is
So,
Javi because like wasn't Javi
they showed
like
it. They showed it. It is
Yeah,
Javi.
yeah.
But yeah, oh, he's so traumatized by that dog. You can continue though.
No, you're good. You're good. This episode definitely made me look forward to where they're going with this season. It was set up, but it was good setup. So that'll close out my thoughts.
I kind of like how Sykes is low key on their side now. So like I know she's saying like I'm just like a prisoner.
No,
of war.
she's straight up on their
like
side.
yeah, like
Yeah.
But I know she's like I'm just playing my part. But like her and Beth kind of have a thing. like not like a thing, but like it's like a mutual respect thing, and I'm just like, I kind of like
Here
where
for
this
it.
is going.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. But the fact that she's the one that's allowed to like get the food and go in and out of the train
Right.
car and stuff, I was just like, respect. Because at first, like, you know, Sykes, you're like, she's a badass. I don't know if she'll ever be on their side, because when they take over the train, you know, she's just like, fuck you, like Wilford. Ah. But now she's like, you know what? It's been like 6 months. Maybe Wilford isn't the best dude. I think what they're doing is kind of important. And you're like, yeah, Sykes.
I also, Audrey is just starting to annoy me. The character
She annoyed me last season.
I mean, she did as well, but now, like just this episode, I was like, all right, I'm done with your character. I'm not interested.
The most
in her.
interesting thing she did was when she lit the cigarette using the taser.
Yeah.
But then she was just like, I like the daughter more. She was like around the train. She was like, "Can you stop? Like, I'm trying to do shit." And she's like, "Both of you shut up."
It was
Like,
funny because she told she's like, everybody like shut up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
She's like, "I'm trying to do math. I'm doing fucking calculus right now."
The biggest issue with that scene is that Audrey is just not convincing. You know
Yeah.
for a fact that she is never going to get her and her fucking like white dude lackey, like who like jobber number one.
I was gonna
who's,
say,
like,
not white dude.
not white dude.
He's the only not white dude there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is he not white? I'm sorry.
He's like
I'm sorry,
Indian.
not white guy. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Just okay. Well, I'm sorry.
Kevin's the white dude lackey on the train. Yeah.
Generic Indian guy number one who is obviously going to get the first one to get bonked on the head. I'm like, this is your plan with a fucking taser. Like all these people
Dude,
are more
when she knocked
experienced than
Bess
you.
out, like just like when she kicked the thing down,
Yeah.
knocked her out. It would have had more weight had she been knocked out longer, and then she really would
Yeah.
have been more of a threat to the train because it was 2 against 1, and
Yeah.
you only have the conductor. But then Bess is up like right after the commercial break, and then like stops it. And I'm like, so she lit a cigarette. That's all she got to do was be a little menacing with the cigarette.
well, no, she did try and hit the throttle on the train
I
and
know,
push that
but
up.
it was great when Bess just knocks her out. She's
Yeah.
like, boom,
Yeah,
and I was
she's
like, thank
no
you.
one's got time for this shit.
Thank you. And then she was the voice of reason that's like, no, you got the right thing. Believe in your mom.
But
And I'm
see,
like, yes.
and I'll just go into my thoughts and start there. Like,
Do it.
I don't like that scene. I don't like that she is questioning,
Yeah, she doubted.
that she doubted. Like, she knows who Wilford is. She knows who her mom is. She knows who the good guys are.
Mm-hmm.
She chose this side for a very specific reason. So, of all people to have Audrey so doubt into her mind, I'm
Yeah.
like, no, if anybody would do that, it wouldn't be on this train. It would be Wilford
Yeah.
fucking with her.
And she even
head.
straight up said, you know, I wanted them to lock you in like the storage
Yeah,
thing or whatever.
yeah.
And she's like, but they put you in the library because
Library.
they thought it would be safer.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's just shit.
Yeah. I didn't buy that scene. I gotta say, I was really disappointed by the episode as a whole. The other thing is like, we have had 2 seasons of like revolutions and like picking sides, and the fact that yet there's another one happening, you know, on Snowpiercer with Big Alice, you know, it just, I'm over it. Like I need like the fighting to stop, and I need there to be like a new thing, which
Yeah.
hopefully is going to be quote unquote paradise. I didn't need to see people get shit thrown on them for taking a hot bath. I can't buy that there's a revolution going on a train that needs people working at all times just to survive, because it could get to like -50 on the train at this point. Like, I just don't buy it. Like, it's becoming a little bit unrealistic to me.
I buy the revolutionaries still being on the train because
Yeah.
I
like,
buy them being on the train,
Yeah.
but I don't buy them like being able to stage a revolution right now.
oh no, they can't.
I
That's
think
why they're just
I think
hiding.
they're just kind of keeping hope alive because
Yeah.
when they're waiting for Leighton to return
Yeah.
with the main engine, which would obviously power everything again, and then that would kind of bring them all back and
Yeah,
such.
and they'd be like, we never changed sides, Leighton. We're here for you.
The other thing that bothered me, but I thought was the most interesting part of the episode, was them like going down into this bunker, and I'm like, this actually could have been interesting. Like, you could have done a little bit more, stayed there. Would have been nice if they focused a little bit more on this person and you found out who that person was, if it wasn't going to be Melanie, like in this episode. There's something to be said about that, like, generator, you know, like...
Well, the fact that it worked with his suit, because, you know,
Yeah.
these suits are supposed to be like Wilford made and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but that person had a Wilford suit. I think they were trying to do the fake out of, oh, maybe it's Melanie, but obviously
No,
it's
they
not.
were. No, they,
But it's
yeah.
it's
I
obviously
didn't
not.
think it was Melanie.
No, and I
Not
don't.
even for a second.
Anybody with half a brain knows it's not Melanie, but maybe there's
Yeah.
somebody out there and be like, it's not. Maybe it's Melanie that he rescued. You know,
I think this person might know where Melanie is. I think that's a possibility. I just don't know. I didn't feel it. I'm looking like the previews for like everything else that's going to be happening. Like,
I feel like Melanie will be happening like next episode.
It's not even Melanie. Like
Yeah.
I'm excited to have her back, but like I just need I need them all back on the train, and I need the politics of the show instead of like just what we got in this episode. It just didn't work for me.
But I feel like it would have been weirder if, like, because of how last season ended and the trains are split apart and they're the ones searching for Melanie and like researching the hot points.
Yeah.
If they didn't give us at least 1 or 2 episodes where they're doing that.
No, I agree.
before they
I
come
just
back.
don't think I think yeah, obviously like they still needed to have the trains apart for an episode or two. I just don't think it was executed well.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the strongest episode,
Yeah.
but
That being said, I'm excited. Like this show has had a couple of bad episodes here and there, and then just like powered through and been like both the first and second season have been spectacular. So
yeah, no, you said it like you're like it didn't move at breakneck speed, and I wanted to be like, well, yeah, she couldn't go that fast and leave them behind. She had to be able to reverse it. She had to keep the engines hot, but still reverse.
back
like
that
20
ass
miles
up,
an hour.
that and reverse it.
Drop that thing down, flip
I
it,
thought
and
that's where you were
reverse it.
going with that.
No,
Yeah,
that's
no.
Mary J.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige.
Let's get into it a little bit more into some more details. Things are bad and cold, right? On board Big Alice,
As
like
usual.
really bad as usual. And the rest of Snowpiercer. Meanwhile, things are very like too hot on board the pirate ship. What do you think about just in more detail about the way this opened and the kind of like the contrasting?
Isn't the pirate ship Big Alice?
No, the pirate
no?
ship is Snowpiercer.
Yeah, because
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah,
because they refer to Big Alice and the 1,034 cars I think it has
Okay,
as the
yeah.
rolling gulag.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's the stronger one.
Yep.
Okay, never mind. We're good.
Yeah.
I had a brain fart for a second where I was just like, wait a minute, what train
Yeah.
are they on? Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense that there would be some kind of undercurrent of resistance because in like things like gulags and prisons and such, there's always
Right.
this kind of black market current of resistance and things like that. So that, and as I said, the episode did a lot of setup, which I know isn't exciting to watch, but it's something that has to be done.
Kind
And
of what they do in the beginning of every season of the
Yeah.
show. It's a lot of setup, and then you're like, what the hell is going to happen? And then it always takes that wild turn, and you're like, let's go!
yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It makes sense that Big Alice is cold. They're ones running on all the power, and you got everybody to feed on this. So, like, I get it's kind of rough looking at where they're at, because it's almost like in the beginning of the first season where, like, the lower class is so, like, underneath.
Yeah.
And they finally fought their way up, and now the whole train is freezing, and it's like, at least the workers are used to some of the cold, but man, is it rough.
there's only one class now, the working
People
class.
fighting over
Yeah.
hot water. Yeah, I do like that Snowpiercer's pirate ship does run hot, because like they're literally running
Yeah.
like as fast
Yeah.
as possible to hop around and be like, ding, 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 where's Melanie? Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You talked about how much you love Ruth. We all
love
love
Ruth.
Ruth. She's the leader of the resistance, which you would definitely not have seen coming if you just watched season 1 of this show. But this is where her character has evolved into, and it's pretty cool. If I took anything away from this, like I love the fact that she's kind of just like getting moved around from place to place. Like I can't even think of like what it reminds me of right now, but there's a couple other shows that have like done this kind of thing, and I've always found it really interesting. What did you guys think about that?
I love that they're protecting her, like she's basically like the de facto leader while Leighton's out. Even though she's not assuming the role of leader, she's like literally just trying to hold people together in that hope until he returns. I love this for her character because she's gone so opposite of where she began, where like she was the one trying to root out the resistance in the beginning. She was so wholeheartedly believing in Wilford, and then when she finally finds out who Wilford is, she's like, nah, fuck this, I'm with the resistance. And she's going hard for us. She doesn't have to. But Rufy's still here. I love when she was when she gets moved to the other area and they go through like the first class lounge, and she was like, Kevin couldn't even clean up.
anything
Like
up.
it was so great because she was just like, wow, Kevin couldn't even clean up, because that's her little hospitality
Yeah.
kicking in. But my favorite part is when she gives the medicine to what's his face, who actually like more now.
Yeah,
That dude.
he's
Yeah.
like a good guy.
He's like written better. And,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the writing.
Stephen Ogg's character.
He had to be
yeah.
bad at first for you to not like him, but he's gotten better. But I love that she gives him the medicine to give to like the workers,
seamstresses,
the
yeah.
seamstresses, because like that's part of her hospitality. Also, she's like, the workers need this to continue to work and stay alive, but also she knows what the different groups need, so that way when the resistance has to come and call in, she's like, yeah, we got you the medicine,
Yeah.
we got you the food, we did what we had to do. What did Wilford do?
Yeah.
Throw shit at you. That's what he did.
Literally, yeah. Yeah.
I did like that the one lady was just like, do it. It was worth it. It sucks. I didn't want to see that either, but they always have to show that Wilfred's. They want to remind you how much of an asshole he is. Yeah. But she was like, it was worth it.
Here's a question that's not on our outline. What are they doing to Zara's baby?
Dude. There's no reason she needed to be knocked out for like, a normal ultrasound. So he's doing some shady shit to Zara's baby.
Icy Bob
Icy
shit.
Bob.
Yeah, like
Icy baby.
Yeah.
Icy baby.
I mean, I see the baby on the monitor.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely. When I saw that little like needle injection go in,
Trying to slip that by.
I did. I was like, Julian will laugh in post. No, he'll laugh now. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. Like Zara's position also on the train. Like
Zara's always done what's best for Zara, though.
Yeah, I know. But it's just one of those things where it's like unfortunate, but you're just like, Leighton got another boo now. Back to the OG boo. Or not the OG boo, the new.
The OG boo.
Yeah.
She was the OG boo.
But wasn't Zara technically
Zara
the OG?
Zara was the OG boo before the world ended.
Yeah. And then
there's too many OGs.
I know. Then you had the back of the train boo. And then he almost went back to Zara.
Because he got Zara pregnant.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like so.
Because the tail boo.
Yeah, tail boo had her arm, or no, she got all messed up.
Yeah.
And then she had to get the goo on.
And now she like looks like like nothing ever happened.
I'm just forgetting her name, so I said
I know.
I apologize for calling her that. It's been like a year, guys. I have to remember these characters. But yeah, it's interesting how those dynamics have changed, but in like a realistic way. So now it's like, Zara, honey, what you doing? But I like that she did get upset about like when she was talking to Wilfred and like had the clipboard and everything, and he just realistically is like, yeah, we don't care about these people. We're going to do what we got to do. And she's just like, what the fuck? Like, she's trying to be hospitality, but she really has no means to really help people. Josie. There we go. I knew it was an easy name. Dang. But yeah, Josie, it's interesting. I am concerned because he was like, oh, there's a baby on board. But at the same time, what are you going to do with that baby boy? It's like he knows. He's like, how can I mess with Leighton when he comes back? Turn his baby into a super ice baby.
I love Sean Bean so much. This episode is going to get a better review just because of Sean Bean. Like,
yeah,
there they are.
And he didn't even have to do
rabbit
much.
tracks in the snow.
Wasn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Though, like, it's like a captain on the seas, and like you feel a certain way, or like the wind's a certain way, and like the stars are in the right position. It's like they're close. I could feel the master and commander.
He's like the two tracks will.
It actually was a little bit of Wrath of Khan too, and like the Mutar and Embia.
Well, I mean, because one thing I'm curious about is why did he divert from the track? Because does he know something about where the lines connect further?
Oh,
down
he
that
absolutely
they don't,
does.
Yeah, I think he knows everything.
He does.
It took him so long to catch up to Snowpiercer to begin with.
Well,
I like how he's so menacing without having to do much. Like, they probably could even cut out the shit throwing scene, and he still would have been just as menacing and scary in that episode because he's playing cat and mouse with them. He's hunting them out. He's onto them. He has informants. He's always, and he's like, I just love the chaos of it. Kevin's the chaos on the train. This is the chaos here, and I'm just like, oh my god, the dog, it's not trained. Chaos, and I'm just like, okay.
Kevin's like his little SS officer now,
Dude,
basically.
Kevin.
Let's move on finally to Leighton finding this survivor hiding out, and I think it was an old nuclear plant, right? Or at least something.
I don't know
similar.
if it was a nuclear plant, an office building, or something.
Yeah,
because they were in North
like an
Korea.
Office
They
building
said
when they dropped down, but then it seemed like maybe they had like a backup generator somewhere that they were tapping into. I don't think it was like a specific like nuclear place, but they did have that one sign that looked like it was like with a 2 on it, and I was just like, what does it mean? Was it like Bunker 2?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna find out maybe. But then the minute that he finds, I think it's a girl. He finds her. Starts having like these crazy visions of paradise, which is a little wild. I don't know if I was feeling that. What do you think this means?
I'm not a fan of the whole, if they kind of go the route of mysticism, like Leighton has visions about
I don't think
the promised land. Like, please don't go that route, Snowpiercer. Please, I'm begging you, because that will lower my enjoyment a little bit.
I think it was just like a good hallucination to have because he was running out of oxygen and he was going into like shock. So I think he just was seeing like, oh, if we're right about the temperature, maybe a tree will grow.
But then he saw them again when he's sitting next to...
But it wasn't a new vision. I think he was just like remembering what he saw. Like he was thinking about it, and he's like, why did I picture a tree? But
no, the thing I'm curious about is, as I said earlier, is the suit that the other person is wearing, who I believe it is a woman, because I think they showed her in the trailer for the season.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like in the credits there was a name, but I don't remember.
yeah, but my prevailing theory is that this woman was probably a part of like the Wilford network to build the train, and then when everything went to shit, like she basically got caught where she was and kind of was smart enough to jury rig stuff to survive. So I'm curious to see like what this new character is all about. So yeah, and the vision stuff, as I said, I'm kind of like about it. If it's like a one-time thing, all right, fine, whatever. But please do not make it the focal point of the show that Leighton's having visions about where to go.
Or he really is like the savior sort of thing.
Yeah, like
he even tries to deny it still. He's just like, no, I'm just trying to run the train, just trying to be a leader.
Because, I mean, the show is very grounded
Yeah.
in reality. I know that sounds ridiculous for a show about a
train that-
1,000-car train running around a frozen Earth, but the show is very grounded, and just don't DS9 this where you're going to have the prophets or whatever the hell.
Nice reference.
That
You
was
like
good.
that? You like that?
I will say, the tree kind of looked like a baobab, so I want to say if we do come across this tree realistically in the show, and maybe it's just like snowed over or whatever, I want us to call it the Icy Baobab. Because remember Icy Bob?
Oh,
Remember
Icy
back
Bob.
when Icy Bob was the thing?
Fuck you.
Fuck you. But yeah, I at least felt good when I was watching this. I was just like happy that Snowpiercer was back, because like when, especially like seeing Ruth scenes and stuff, like as much as some of it was good and some of it was just like meh, I was just like, man, I miss this show.
So here's
I
a
love
question.
this world.
Here's a question. Do you think they save Melanie's reveal until much later in the season?
I fucking hope not.
I don't
do you
think so.
Do you think they play coy and be like, haha, do you
No,
think
you don't-
Melanie's coming
No.
back this
I
episode?
think if she doesn't show up next episode, it'll be referenced that she's still alive in the next episode, or you see some sort of evidence of it.
You don't put her name top billing in season 3 after she supposedly died, which
Yeah.
was like the worst death ever.
Now-
like no one believed that
Yeah.
she was ever dead.
Now, to be
And they
fair,
confirm like 2 weeks later, they're like, she's
so
maybe not.
yeah, I know nobody believes that she's truly dead. But the thing is, though, is that media has done this in the past where they've put somebody's top billing and they've barely been like the movie I'm thinking of, weirdly enough, is Executive Decision, I think it is, which was a shitty movie with Steven Seagal. He got top billing. He dies in the first like 10 minutes.
Yeah, but at least he's in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though, is that just because somebody's top billed doesn't mean they're always going to be
I thought you were
in.
gonna
I
say
just don't think
Zendaya
that
in
you
Dune.
can. I don't think you can. No, see, I
No,
still
no, I
disagree
was just
with the
meant.
whole- No, I know.
Well, no, I
I
was
know.
just meant like that was the joke, is that top billing, and then she's not in it much.
I don't think you can get away with it in this day and age in television, because there's internet fanboys and there's people that will outrage and be like, you can't do this, and then they will have to renege. And no,
I mean,
The whole
Jennifer
fan base
Connelly's a
loves-
busy woman. She might have shit to do.
yeah, but she's probably also getting paid like big dollars for
I was
being
gonna
on
say, like,
Snowpiercer.
They literally did promo.
TNT has fuck you money.
They did promo pictures for this season with her and Sean Bean and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So like she's coming back.
Yeah, I know she is.
And they
but as I
know
said,
the
like,
people want her, because every single post you see it. It's not even just me at the top being like, Melanie, ah.
They literally like two days after the fucking season 2
Yeah.
finale, like did a big post about Melanie. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Because they want you to be like, ooh, when's Melanie come back? What about Leighton's kid? Haven't seen him in a while.
Oh, it's not his kid though, is it?
it's
Leighton's son?
no, I don't think it is his kid. I think it was
Zara's
a kid
son?
that I think it was Zara's son or
Zara's
somebody that like when they got on the train.
He like took
Leighton-
him in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you
But
mean.
yeah, I just mean we haven't seen a lot. Do you like how they pulled in some guest actors in this one? The dude from I can't remember his name. Oh my god, Orphan Black, who played the husband, Allison's husband.
Yes!
Yeah, he showed up as the one water maintenance guy or
Yep.
whatever, or like the
Yep.
water master,
Who
whatever.
told, yeah,
who
he
told.
snitched,
and
yeah.
I loved it because I was just like, this is how you throw random people, because there's so many people on this train, you won't always see him, so it's just in for an episode and then he's gone.
Speaking of that, I know it's been forever since season 2, but is Mike O'Malley's character dead or is
No,
he?
he's in the what do they call them? The drawers.
Yeah,
He's
the-
in the
Oh, okay.
drawers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, now I
yeah, they
remember. Okay.
put lots of people to sleep. That's
Gotcha.
They did.
Gotcha.
yeah, night.
Do you have it?
Let's rate the first episode of season 3 out of 5 hot baths. Hot baths.
I will say 3 out of 5 because I loved it for the Ruth moments and some of the other things, but it was just a setup. Like I'm just
Yeah.
waiting to see more. It wasn't like, oh my god, you have to watch it right now sort of episode of Snowpiercer, which we usually get to
Yeah.
by the end of the season. It was like a solid setup. I just don't care for Audrey's shenanigans and
No, me neither.
the constant betrayal. It's like, just let the girl fucking run the train. Let her conduct. Let her be her mom.
That's the other thing too. No one else knows how to run that fucking train.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
I love that she was trying to walk Bess through it too, and she's just like, what is that? And she's like, top panel to the right, like this switch, and then she's like,
Yep.
nice.
I'll also go 3 out of 5 just for Sean Bean and Ruth.
Sean Bean and Ruth. Yeah, the rescue mission plot was a little. Did we?
Yeah, that
God, we didn't even talk about him.
Yeah.
Well, also,
It
I also thought that was kind of dumb that you're going to send one of your
Engineers?
engineers, one of the only people who can run this train. You're going to send him out on this dangerous.
Agreed completely.
He probably was just like, I really want to help this time.
I get that, but I mean, have Till do it, have even Leighton do it,
anyway,
literally anybody could do it.
2.5 out of 5. It was fine. It was nothing special. Yeah. Bean. Give me more of the bean.
Give me more bean and
Give
Ruth.
me more bean and Ruthie.
More beans, please.
All right, guys. We've delayed.
Oh God.
We've delayed as long as possible.
Time for a worse apocalyptic show. I can't even talk.
Oh boy. Matt.
God.
What time is it?
Oh no. Oh God. It's time for Raiders of the Bargain Bin.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
They came riding over the hill with that shitty movie.
And bargain we did. And
We really bargained. We paused the movie multiple times and we're like, is it done?
Well, I think we got nervous because I think eventually it was like if we pause it, he might. Because I remember at one point Julian accidentally rewound it
I know,
a little
and
bit. It
we're
was like,
no. We had to rewatch something terrible.
So
yeah, that was God.
If you fast forwarded from our intro and didn't hear, we burned this movie afterwards. Like, literally, that's not figuratively. We went outside, we had a lighter, and we lit the movie.
If we had lighter fluid, we probably would have.
I might go
it.
pour some liquor on it after and actually
waste alcohol.
Finish the job. This movie is so bad that it's not even listed on Rotten Tomatoes. So
Rotten Tomatoes wouldn't even review it.
Can't do the Rotten Tomato score for this horrible as fuck bargain bin movie this week, or month, I should say. But IMDb did have a rating for it. It was 1 star out of 5, with the average rating being 2.2 out of 10. And I would even say that 2.2
is giving a lot.
Is generous.
It's very generous.
Did you find it?
Oh God.
Oh yeah,
it is, but it has like no scores
not there
whatsoever. Yeah,
because no one
because they couldn't pay
movie.
somebody.
Maybe we should be.
Do you
the
know
ones
what's the
to
most
review
insulting thing after watching this movie is that probably no one has ever purchased this movie, and we just gave them $7.50, and they're going to get like a 1 cent royalty check.
We won't be the only ones. Other people do this.
That's fair. They do. Oh.
Hey, but we're preventing others from doing it, so in a way, we're taking their money.
I also did make an editor's note on our
So
outline
many.
here. We could not read the opening credits because
They did some kind of like
No,
font
they
with
decided
flames
to use
in it.
the flame font that is from the title. But before the title comes up, and it's like, you can't do that to the people's names. You can't read it against a black background that's intercut between stupid flashback war fight scenes. Like, it was just, ugh.
Matt,
It's fine.
just go ahead. Just give us your thoughts.
So
Don't hold back.
yeah, this movie was absolutely fucking terrible. I know that in the past we've said there are enjoyable bad movies and then there are just bad movies. This movie definitely falls into the bad category. There was nothing I did not enjoy a single thing about this movie.
No. Even in the beginning, we were trying to laugh at everything. We stopped laughing probably 8 minutes in.
The movie, and I know Julian, like the part that I'm sure Julian's going to touch upon is the part when like it was like, oh my
Like,
God,
for real,
all right,
we
the
shifted and we
humor
were like,
was
we're
like,
done.
all right, this is.
I will say by the first woman assault scene, I think we were like, okay, no,
See,
this isn't a fun film anymore.
To me, that's like stereotypical almost 80. Even though this movie came out last year, it came out in
know.
August of last year, and they obviously tried so hard to like emulate an 80s like post-apocalyptic
weird thing.
like lone hero story.
Escape from New York-ish.
Yeah, kind of like that shit where
wanted to
you
be Mad
have
Max,
pretty much almost any woman who appears is either killed or assaulted in some way, and so on and so forth. And
Except for Cat Lady.
except
We'll
for
get to
Cat
that
Lady,
later. Jesus Christ.
I don't. Oh my God, that fucking. Oh jeez, there's so much to unpack in this movie.
Is there?
In terms
There's
of
like no lore or plot.
No,
I can't
there's-
even tell you what it was supposed to be.
I don't know like Ramses. I think was both of their characters because they were brothers. I think that was their names. I mean, most of this movie was like inner monologue of the guy trying to his damnedest to
Inner monologue,
Yeah.
well, heavy on the sepia filter.
yeah, and like he did the whole like and it was all of the allegories that you would, all of the dumb shit that you would write as a joke for a
Yeah.
character, they were presented
For
serious.
like a parody trailer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like, imagine something like, I think I even made the joke during when we were watching of like the blood ran down my face like rain.
Yeah.
Like something, imagine something like that. Now imagine a movie full of
And
that
then he was
shit.
like, after the fall, the sky was full of fire, just like my eyes. Like, it was like
Yeah,
an actual...
that kind
and
of
you were like,
crap where, yeah.
the main actor is the one who wrote the movie, guys. That's all you
And
need
he
to know.
directed it, I think, too.
Not
He
only
wanted
did
a
he
role.
write and direct it, he had so little talent that he had to
was
go
bad.
and just be like, oh, let's use this trope. Let's just use this trope. Oh, we need to cast women. Okay, let's rape them. Let's kill them, and let's show them all bloodied up. Like, fuck you, dude.
The
Yeah,
topless
it was-
scene where the woman's like getting assaulted by it's all in there. All the
Yeah.
tropes you can think of from any shitty action
And then
movie.
you think
of
he saw it
vengeance.
once, and then he's constantly flashback thinking about it, and you're like, can you not? Like, if
Like,
you
we
if
got
you make
it.
a movie where a woman's assaulted, you shouldn't be making a movie. Like, period. Like, it's not... This doesn't help your male character be more interesting. He was not interesting at all.
No,
At all.
And then this just made him.
I couldn't even relate.
yeah.
It didn't even make him, empathetic. Like, I couldn't even empathize with this man. I was just like, you're fucking terrible. None of this needed to happen. Oh, God.
What? Oh, Jesus.
Keep going, Matt.
No,
Sorry,
I
we
mean,
interjected.
I'll let you guys get your thoughts in just so we can start tearing this movie apart.
This movie is one of those ones where I wish I could, like, unsee and then never actually see it.
Yeah.
But here we are, warning you not to see it. And, God, it makes me so angry because there's so many people out there that have great ideas for movies, will never receive the funding to make their movies, and then people like this just make this shit. And thank God it wasn't, like, in theaters, like, actual Hollywood budget, like, stuff, because it still wouldn't have been good with the plot and the writing. Holy shit. But, God, it was awful. I love our bargain bin stuff. Sometimes you're pleasantly surprised. Sometimes it hurts your brain. And this one, between the filters and just the endless monologuing, and like there was more monologuing in his mind than there was actual dialogue between characters in this film.
Later on, they got a little bit better
no,
with
by
that.
like the third act, because they had to be like, "Why are you trying to kill me?
Old
Blah, blah, blah,
man.
revenge."
Old man, go to that town over there.
Yeah, the names were like.
Cat
I don't
lady,
know how.
old man. That was
This guy
literally
had to
their
have
names.
gotten all of his friends and buddies who just wanted to like have an IMDb credit to their name to do this, because
Not only an IMDb credit, but
Yeah.
also a close up on their face for like
Dude.
95% of them.
there was two, like, yeah, I feel like the shot composition, the fact that I actually caught an edit, like physically saw the frame jump and was like, they just edited there because the dude
did.
forgot his line.
And it was such a
was
bad. And how
so
could you
bad.
forget your fucking line when there's no fucking
Well,
dialogue
it's
in the
because
damn
they
movie?
deep breathe and they stop, they talk halfway and they're just like, we gotta go over this ridge. What do you think about that?
You're a better
know,
actor. You're a better actor. I'm a better
I know.
actor.
I said
like,
thank you to Matt because I'm like, you know what? Sometimes when I get in my head about voice acting, I'm like, I don't know can I really cut it? And now I watch this movie and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I could have fucking done all this dialogue better than that. Holy shit.
For somebody who also walks everywhere, the guy is constantly
Out of
breathing
breath.
hard. And,
Yeah.
he's like, and then we gotta.
And it was everybody
Go
in every
fight them.
scene, even if they weren't fighting, even if they weren't like physically having, I just went a few miles and I don't have enough water. Like they were just in a little shed and they were like, what's up with this guy? And you're like, he fainted. And I'm like, why are you breathing? Why?
And then also like scenes of this movie don't connect. Like the part
No,
when
they
like
don't.
his brother seems to have him hot and like has him like go
Yeah.
walk forward, and he ends up in that little port, and then all of a sudden it's like he somehow gets teleported, and his character doesn't remark upon it at all. He isn't like, what the fuck just happened? Like I was like about to be gunned down by my brother and like 30 dudes,
No,
and
yeah.
now I'm like in a completely different part of the desert.
And he's a main character that he's trying to do this whole lone wolf, oh, I'm traumatized, whatever, dude. You want to be fucking Joel Miller and you can't even do that. Like every time he meets somebody, even people that end up being on his side to help him in his like revenge quest that he doesn't even fully tell them. They're just like, oh, he's staring at a picture of his wife. Weird. I guess we'll help him find his brother.
And
Not
also-
sure why.
yeah.
Like every time he'll talk to them about something, go to get information. Then afterwards he'll be like, I won't shoot you. And then he'll be like, but I will shoot you. And then just like, stop saying you're going to
and
shoot
9 times out of 10
everybody.
he does.
Yeah.
He just fucking guns everybody down for no reason
And then
whatsoever.
they still are on his side.
Yeah.
And then in the end, the very fucking end of the movie, where he finally tracks down his brother, who, guess what, guys, assaulted his wife and has been doing really messed up crap ever since he left the futuristic
The Intercontinental Army was...
Intercontinental Army, which, guys, there's supernatural elements that they don't even explain it. It's just terrible.
They don't ever explain it. They don't ever give it a name. It is the most bonkers.
He
wild...
knifes his brother, and his brother's like, "Oh, so you're gonna finally get your revenge against me?" And then he goes, "No," and walks away. And that's the end of the fucking movie.
It just hit me like where this kind of story premise almost comes from. It's like a shitty heavy metal magazine story.
Basically,
That's almost exactly what it is. It just with a little bit less nudity. That's almost exactly like I could picture
I can
this.
see Julian raring up.
No, I Julian hasn't even done his thoughts. So yeah, Julian, why don't you
I would
get
picture
going?
this as a bad magazine at Wade's that I come across, or like a really bad comic that I'm just like, wow, somebody wrote this, and I chuck it. Like,
we'll put it in the 1 cent comic bin.
Not even. That's the stuff we shred and we use as packing material.
Julian, what are your thoughts on?
like, oh, is that half a boob?
Drifter?
The name. Oh God.
I, like you guys at the beginning, was trying like really hard to just like make fun of it and, Mystery Science Theater 3000 it and laugh and be like, oh, look at all these different kind of guns that make no sense. Look at this really horrible editing. Oh, wow, this guy sounds like a 2 cent Keanu Reeves. Oh,
Yep.
2 cent Keanu
and it was funny and it was fine.
For 8 minutes.
And then
the flashback scene.
The flashback scene, which I'm going to get serious for a second, committed, I think, like one of the biggest cardinal sins in a movie, whether it's a indie film, whether it's a big budget, even a horror movie. Like, you showed a baby get shot, and you didn't only show the baby get shot, like you showed like the actual baby having gotten shot with like the bullet wound. That's like a no-no for me. Like, you could like cut and hear the gun go off in the background, that's fine, but like
you can imply,
don't ever fucking show that. Like, people have gone through, like, you don't know what people have gone through. And listen, like, I haven't had like a traumatic shit, but I know plenty of people who do have like lost kids. Like, showing that kind of shit in a film, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the minute that happened, I know it was early on, I was gone. I basically didn't watch the movie anymore. Like, I was on my phone. I couldn't. I like, when I said, like, I wasn't joking.
I know.
When I said,
yeah, I'm done.
I was like, I'm done. Like, can we just turn this off? Like, that was just a big no for me. I'm really pissed off about it. Like, if I could like send these guys an email, I'd be like, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Like, fuck off. Yeah, that's where I'm at with this. Like, I was done after that.
There was that's true. That's when we're like, wow. There was like no need.
No, and everybody, the whole tone in the room shifted.
And
after
like
that.
the fact that you have 3 women in the movie, and I even saw at the beginning when there was like 3 women names, I was just like, they're not going to have good roles. And you have only 1 out of the 3 that isn't assaulted throughout the movie.
Yeah,
and used in like flashbacks about it. I'm just like, wow. And the one that doesn't is carrying around the cat carrier. Just dragging it, hanging it behind her. It makes no sense. This dude that wrote this script, like, I swear, like, the actress had to have been like, why am I carrying a cat thing like this? And he's like, just trust me. It's
I don't
gonna
know
look
how
great.
anyone, like, I don't know how anyone could have gotten on board for this movie, like, knowing that, like, this, there had to be no budget there. Like, these people could have gotten paid more than like $20 to be in this movie. Like, why would you?
VFX guy's the only one who got paid.
Work on a different indie film. Like, don't put this on your resume.
Like I said, I think some people just need the IMDb credit.
Yeah.
Just to like be on IMDb and then get their start.
Trying to get their foot in the door.
Bro.
And then when you get asked about that movie later, I'm sorry, I was in that movie?
Yeah,
oh,
be like,
okay.
I don't recall. It was a fever dream. But the fact that...
There's literally fever dreams in this movie that make zero fucking sense.
But there's no plot. So you have this guy that supposedly left the military, whatever. His brother gets mad that he leaves to go, make sure his family's safe because there's apparently programmed people that go around killing different just settlements.
The war is not explained at all. It's not nothing about it.
He leaves the war because he knows his hometown's going to be targeted next, so he wants to make sure his wife and baby are safe. But then, like, doesn't leave.
Well, no, it's only his wife. They don't have the baby until they're in the little.
That's what I mean.
The little murder cabin.
They're there together, and then the brother and his crew come back, and then they're the ones that end up doing that messed up stuff to his family. And then it's all this revenge quest to go forward, and then he keeps running across different people, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm looking for someone, but he ain't you." And then, but I might shoot you anyway. He's always taking people's guns away. And I'm like, let them defend themselves. This is apparently a very messed up world you live in. Don't take the one gun this woman has away from her.
And he even says, like, you make weird tracks dragging that carrier like that.
Yeah, and I'm like, no,
she doesn't drag it, though. That's the funny thing. She actually has it attached to her.
The cat stopped being in the carrier. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it was.
The cat was in the carrier for the scene where he's pointing the gun to the cat to be like, I'm going to shoot this cat if you don't drop your gun.
I got my shooter pointed at Mr. Kitty or whatever the hell he said.
No, that's literally what he said. You can't make this up, guys. The dialogue. You can't even sample the dialogue and make it into anything good. It's atrocious.
It is such a terrible
But
fucking movie.
To get into the more interesting thing, which doesn't get touched upon at all, you think this is a basic revenge plot, but then halfway through, apparently these weird native cannibal-looking Mad Max people show up, and whenever they do, there's this weird like barrier they put up of like skulls, and if you pass through the barrier, weird distorted Foundation Apple TV stuff happens.
And they don't go
then-
through the barrier as well.
Yeah, but the thing is, and then you see a pyramid on the other side with lightning and this weird radiation anomaly, and that radiation creature is driving the soldiers crazy, but they don't touch on it at all. You don't learn about it. The end of the movie, when he stabs his brother and he's like, doesn't do revenge on him, he walks away. His brother's like, but the anomaly's just over the valley. You don't want to see this creature that I've seen? And he's like, nah, and walks away. So you're like, what the fuck was the point? Why were they constantly having these weird fever dreams and walking through these barriers and teleporting and all this weird stuff?
Like, where did this pyramid come from? What is it doing there? Like, what is
It was like two separate movies.
The
They tried to make it
the
a
dude's but like Matt said, like
Yeah.
it was a combination of all these 80s and 90s
Yeah,
like
he's like,
action
let's
films.
do
He's like, okay, I
Predator.
saw Predator, I saw
Yeah.
Stargate. Let's add all these things, not explain them. I just want to make a movie and shoot things. Let's do
Yeah.
it, and that's what this fucking was.
But that's what it was. The pyramid with the lightning. I was like, oh, cool. Someone saw Stargate.
Stargate, yep.
And I was like, the weird invisible stuff. We're like, oh, cool, Predator. The fucking whole opening beginning was Terminator. Like,
You said that they should
was. It's
sue.
like, doo-doo,
because
doo-doo.
because the music literally, like the little dun 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 dun,
Yeah.
it's in there. It's a little bit slower,
and they're
but
doing
it
their
is
future
there.
war against people
We all just
wearing
should have
gas
been like,
masks. Doo-doo-doo. I was waiting for somebody to hold the fence at a playground, just be like, "Ah!" you know. It made no goddamn sense, guys. I wish just now you wouldn't even see this. This isn't even Asylum Pictures level, like would be on the Sci-Fi
this
Channel.
is way
This is way
worse.
below. This is like, what was it, Crazy Eyeball something?
I'd rather watch Sharknado 6
Yeah.
like any day.
Oh, I would willingly watch
week.
Sharknado 6 over this. Just know that there are no answers. There is no lore. There is no plot.
I mean, it's at least Sharknado in those movies. They know they're fucking terrible and that they're ridiculous from the word go. This movie plays it completely straight. There is no humor.
Yeah.
No self. Like, I don't think there was a single, like,
There wasn't even a joke.
there was no jokes. Everything was dead serious, straight. There was no, like,
Which you
there was
hope
no
will make it
even
laughable.
slight mirth or anything like that. Like, slight little, like, okay, that's a little bit amusing. Like, normal people would have and
Yeah.
such. Like, it's just this guy on his single, and like, what was like one of his lines, like, miles of wasteland. And
Oh my
death
God,
or
that was it, right?
It was heartbreak and something. What was it? Like?
Heartbreak
Yeah.
and turmoil or something.
Yeah.
It was
yeah,
like the
some
line of the
shit
movie.
like that. Like,
We
oh
all
my,
laughed out loud. That was it still at the beginning when he walked over that like canyon. He was just like the desert,
Millions
millions
of
of
miles
miles
of
of heartache,
yeah.
yeah, heartache and like emptiness or something. And I'm gonna try and cure it. Like something stupid.
yeah,
and we were
some
like, oh.
dumb fucking. And also, the movie was in no way consistent with how the wounds worked, because there's a character that
no.
shows that he shoots at one point, who's one of the enemy soldiers who gets conscripted into his little brother's militia or whatever. And he's like, and the cat lady, that is her name.
Yes,
She
cat
has
lady.
no name. At no point does he ask her name.
No.
Does she say her name or anything? Even in the credits, she is fucking cat lady.
Yep.
But anyway, cat lady says, I'm not leaving this guy and such. And he's like, oh, he's got a wound there. He'll probably be dead before he wakes up. And then the animals will come get him and such like that. Okay, so this guy's mortally wounded. He comes back.
He's like fine.
And the guy is completely fine. There's no hint
He
of
even
that
has a duel.
Yeah, there's. Oh my god, the
Oh,
fucking
the
duel,
duel.
the fucking duels.
Dude, the third act, this dude, I swear to God, threw every fucking choreography idea he could think of into the script. Like, he must have made sure somebody was involved in the project that knew how to fight, like that, his
Yeah.
brother, and was just like, you know what? Yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. And it just became like, just stupid action.
But before we get to the duel stuff, the thing with the guy is totally fine, and then later he throws a fucking knife into his brother's chest, and his brother's laying there, and of course there's no blood, which I don't.
Yeah, that was stupid.
I don't
It's a
get that.
chest wound.
And he says to because his brother is just like, don't you want to see what's over that hill? He's talking about the pyramid, and he's like, no. And he says to his brother, he's like, you lose any more blood, you're gonna die and whatever. And he walks away from him, and his brother is like just laying there, and I'm like, how is this dude gonna live?
Yeah.
There's a goddamn knife in his chest. Like I don't think.
Remember, Cat Lady fingered the dude's bullet hole. Like all she had to do was just see the blood and like touch it, but she literally went into the wound. And the dude
she
didn't
went
react.
2 fingers in, man. She was just.
I was like, damn, what the fuck? You can't just do that.
But Brittany, you want to talk about the duels, man?
No, that was just, it was all stupid. And there was a throw they do. You can tell the one guy knew how to fight and the other guy didn't. The main character did not know how to fight because he did this stupid wrist throw that he like went the opposite of how your body would move if somebody twisted your wrist that way. I was like, this dude doesn't understand physics.
The fact that there was a duel in this movie, I like. This was way after the baby part. It's the one time that I laughed. I'm like, are they really about to do a fucking duel?
They couldn't decide if they wanted to go Western apocalypse or like
Terminator.
Firefly.
Yeah,
like I don't even know.
Yeah, you were like, "Where's Mel?"
Well, no. Yeah, it was the background music at the one part was like, and I swear to God, it sounded exactly like from an episode of Firefly I rewatched recently, and I was like, "This is they're on their way to the fair. Let's go." I'll just say my final thing is that the movie's called Zone Drifter. It didn't make any sense that just their hallucinations is the zone drifting. Like it doesn't. He didn't have a power where he could drift through zones and it helped him out, or like what the fuck did it have to do with anything? You could have called it like Lone Man on Quest for Revenge, and I would have been like, okay, at least it matches the plot.
Yeah,
fucking idiots.
Could have called it like Desert Drifter or some shit like that.
Could have called
just
it
Drifter.
Give me my money back, or Brittany's money back, I should say.
No, I bought this one.
That was Matt's.
Sorry, Matt bought
this was my purchase.
Let's get to the bargain bin meter score.
It's a goddamn garage sale, okay?
Yeah, it's
a
the
movie
lowest.
we literally set on fire. It cannot be anything else.
Yeah, I know Julian likes to make up his.
I know.
Oh yeah,
that
and
don't
I've
exist.
had one ready since the baby scene. This movie is so bad it should be taken off shelves. Like it shouldn't even be at a garage sale. Like it should be taken off shelves and destroyed.
Yeah,
Like,
nobody should have to watch.
No one
half
should
that
be
shit they did.
like. If you see this, you should like honestly take it off the shelves and throw it in the trash in the store. Like that is what you should do with it.
I'd take the fine.
I would take the fine. I really would.
I'd be like, you should not be selling this. Do you know what this is?
Please find me. Please find me. That was easy.
That was easy.
Now that that's over, this is our last episode of January. We're moving into February. We have a lot going on. I think this is the big announcement that we're going right into next week with a special edition of Raiders of the Bargain Bin, Matt, because we're going to go do our second ever theater Raiders of the Bargain Bin, like movie in theaters. And that is, God,
it is
why
Moonfall
from Roland Emmerich, because this is probably going to be one
I
of the
have
worst movies
no idea
ever
what the
made.
fuck is up with that movie
You know
from
what?
the trailers.
It's a good thing we watched this because I feel like Moonfall will at least
It's
give it
gonna be
2 out of
so
10.
It'll
good.
It's going to be like, it compared to this, though. 10 out of 10.
We're gonna walk out and be like, it's not Zone
Zone
Drifter, and everybody's gonna be like,
Remember when we used to say like it's no friend request, but and like now we're like
this
no,
movie is
it's
Zone
no.
Drifter was worse than Friend Request.
No, this is the new bar.
I want to stress
This is
that
the
to
new
you.
bar.
If you
Friend
have
request
listened,
is very boring.
yeah, if you've listened to our Bargain Bin episodes and you kind of know what we've watched in the past, I want you to understand that this movie is worse than anything we've witnessed before.
This is the new
It's the bar.
all-time The Bar worst film.
I don't know how I was able to find this movie in that pile of crap at Walmart.
But you did.
I don't know how
It's so
I
sad.
sifted through it and found my little shit nugget.
The trailer for the movie is better than the movie. Like
The trailer makes it seem like
it makes it seem like it's going to be more supernatural. And it wasn't at all.
it's going to
Of
have.
course,
a
they want you to
coherent
buy
plot.
their fucking straight to DVD
I
movie.
know.
It wasn't even a Blu-ray. It was a goddamn
wasn't. I
DVD.
know.
Oh my
This
god!
should never be out on
What
Blu-ray.
a journey we're on.
What
guys.
a journey!
What a journey!
February is going to be fun. We have Moonfall next week. We'll keep going along with Snowpiercer. Also coming up in February is Uncharted. Oh, pray to the video.
Oh
game
boy!
gods. I don't think we're going to review it, but I know at least Matt and I are going to go see it. Jackass is finally coming out.
Yeah.
I'm not a Jackass person.
No,
I
that's
know.
fine.
I know you like when the dude
have
gets hit in the
fun.
nuts, but
And then we're getting close.
softball.
We're getting
I'm like,
close.
good.
We're about a little over a month away from the Batman. Oh,
yes.
Just keep that on your radar.
And then Witch Queen comes out this next month.
Yeah,
too.
we'll be talking about that. Lots going on in February. Horizon Zero Dawn,
We have a special
Forbidden
guest
West.
slated for February.
We do?
Yes. Supposedly. No, I'm just kidding. No, we have a special guest, Mary Kenny, who is a video games writer, has written some other stuff for comics and whatnot, but you guys might know her as one of the writers on the Miles Morales video game for Insomniac and Ratchet and Clank for Insomniac. and is also writing the upcoming Wolverine game that's coming out.
Which we will not be able to talk
So-
about.
Yeah,
We're letting you
no,
know
we
right
can't
now.
do that.
But we're gonna
Marvel
have a
and their
great,
NDAs.
yeah, great
but,
chat.
Yeah, she's great. It's gonna talk about what it's like writing games and stuff, and just nerding out with us because nerding is fun.
Yep. It should be a good time. February is going to be fun. That's going to do it for this week's episode. So for Brittany, for Matt, I'm Julian. Have a good night.
You can find Everything is Permitted on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Everything is Permitted is produced by Rob Bigliaccio, Nikki Veazey, and Geneva Stein-Shivers. Our executive producers are Michael Cox, Brittany Tomes and the Tomes family, and Julian Brown.